Talking about softball here now with Aaron Cooney. Pioneers were supposed to have a big week last week with Carlow and Notre Dame scheduled to be home games in the AMC Conference for the Pioneers, but the rain came down and they played 0 games in the AMC Conference. They played 2 against Seton Hill and they had a split there. So not too much difference in the AMC Conference standings today as there was last week. So let's take you to those standings. The Pioneers are in first place in the AMC, 18 and 15 overall, 7-3 in the AMC. You see they're tied with Notre Dame in the AMC Conference, 7-3 record there for the Falcons as well. Cedarville at 6-4, Walsh at 7-5, Malone fighting for that 4th and final playoff spot at 6-6, and Carlow rounds out the top 6. There's 8 teams there in the softball side of things. Below that, Ursuline, the Arrows are down there as well. Let's bring in Aaron Cooney now and show you the road ahead for the Pioneers this week. So basically, it's the same road ahead as last week, but just with some different dates in there. They have Carlow tomorrow scheduled to. It is supposed to rain again, so hopefully the Pioneers can get those in there. A 2 o'clock doubleheader first pitch scheduled for there. Zelenka, Robertson, probable starters in that one in Game 2. The Pioneers scheduled to go with Notre Dame. The Pioneer record is 18-5, not 32-9. Those are the baseball team's records. So Zelenka and Inzana scheduled to go in Game 2. So, Aaron, the Pioneers are in an absolute battle for first place. Let's bring in the tie-break scenario. Yep. The Pioneers, if they win, it goes from head-to-head with then now down to how you did against the top half of the AMC Conference. Basically the same thing it was for basketball, and the Pioneers were fighting it out there for the last playoff spot there. There's a real shot, Aaron, that first place could be tied and third place could be tied.
That should be pretty insane. Before we get going, softball team, I apologize. Every time I am scheduled to do a broadcast, it rains and you canceled, so don't worry about these games. I'm not scheduled. We'll see what happens. But tiebreaker, I mean, that's something insane to have first place and third place. And this is pretty big, especially for the Pioneers, as we were discussing beforehand. They really want this home field advantage to just play much better at home for some reason, rather, that we don't know.
If the Pioneers sweep Carlow and they split against Notre Dame, and Notre Dame will go ahead and sweep Mount Vernon and, of course, split against the Pioneers, first place would be tied then. You got to look down toward the top of the AMC Conference, how you did against those two teams. If Cedarville finishes third, that would mean the Pioneers would finish second. If Walsh finishes third, that means the Pioneers would finish first. How big is it for Point Park to get that home field?
And we just said it. They just play better at home. 8-2 at home, and I believe 3-7 on the road, something like that. But they just play better. You have that home crowd. You have that home feeling. Not having to worry about travel either, anything like that. So you don't have to worry about that long bus ride going to either of these teams. So Point Park would love to have the home field advantage, just simply because it's home sweet home for them.
And you look at some of the other teams in the AMC Conference, too. They're not good road records either. Notre Dame is very bad. They're worse than what the Pioneers are on the road. Cedarville is okay on the road, and Walsh is 500 on the road, 5-5. But, again, you say no travel, and the Pioneers, again, just much better at home there with Zelenka, and especially the pitching, I feel, is a lot better at home than it is on the road.
I think, yeah, the pitching is better as well, and also the hitting, just a hitter's park there out in Lynn Field, and the Pioneers definitely have gotten that over the past couple of games, and I think it's going to be huge this week if they could come away with this sweep both these teams. And you take a look at the schedule. Notre Dame hasn't played in a week. They've had 3 consecutive rainouts. They're doubleheaders, so they're going to be coming into Point Park well rested, but also off their game a little bit because they haven't played in so long.
Yeah, softball, baseball, all of those games are kind of just more of a timing thing, more of a rhythm thing as much as that is concerned. So you think the rest might be a big bugaboo for Notre Dame?
It just takes you out of the swing of things, I think, a little bit, especially timing, swinging the bat and pitching, getting your signals down, everything like that. So I think Point Park can definitely benefit taking these 2 games here when Notre Dame comes to visit on Thursday. And the way they have the Point Park's probable starters, I think that's really nice. Get those 2 wins against Carlow, one of the lower teams there. You bring in Robertson, who had a fantastic game against Seton Hill. 6 innings, only allowed 1 hit, and that person was end up throwing up trying to stretch it to a double. So the Pioneers have been getting some good pitching as well, and you add in the hitting there. This is going to be very good and important for them to clinch home field.
And kind of this rainouts has also affected the Pioneers, too, because they were in quite the role there.
Yeah.
They did get to play that Seton Hill game, but in the split against Walsh, Robertson really pitched really well in that one, too, and Zana pitched well in that one, as she did. I believe she pitched in Seton Hill as well. All these pitchers are starting to come around here, almost all at the right time. The hits are coming around, too, but now this rainout might affect them, too.
And that's one thing you got to hope, and that's the unfortunate thing with the rain. And now Pioneers, they got to kick it back up and get back into that rhythm. I know it hurts. You haven't played, and you had that layoff. but I think the way that they've been playing and the role that they've begun, I think it's more of a confidence thing as well, Josh. So they're building up their confidence over that time, and I think this really wouldn't have hurt them that much, and we'll finally see out on Tuesday.
Next week when we break down the AMC conference tournament, where are the Pioneers going to be? Where are they going to be a week from today after these games against Carlow and Notre Dame?
You know, I really like them at number 1. I think they can go 4-0 this week, and I think they'll propel them ahead and put them up top. Definitely can take the number 1 spot.